Namaste students. Today we are going to read the second part of this chapter, the 100 dresses. And the chapter begins like this, that students are taking round of the class looking at the designs, and then suddenly monitor brings the note to Miss Mason from principal's office. And that note is a letter from Vanda's father. The teacher reads it several times and then she says, "Attention class, back to your seats." And then shuffling of the feet had stopped. Everyone was settled. Then the teacher reads the letter. The letter says, "Dear teacher, my Vanda will not come to your school anymore. Jake also. Jake is Vanda's brother. Now we move away to the big city." So this school is in small city and they have moved to now a big city. No more Holler Polak. She was from Poland. So father says, now nobody is teasing her there that she is from Poland. No more ask why funny name. Nobody is teasing her there for her name. Nobody says that Vanda Petrensky is funny name. Plenty of funny names in the big city. The father says in the big city all the children are from different places. They have different names. So plenty of funny names in the big city. And the letter ends, yours truly, Jan Petrensky. See this letter? A deep silence met the reading of this letter. So after the teacher had read the letter, there was a deep silence in the class. Miss Mason took off her glasses, blew on them like this, and wiped them on handkerchief and put them again. And now after the voice, after the letter, the teacher's voice is very low. And she says, "I'm sure that none of the boys and girls in room 13 would purposely and deliberately hurt anyone's feelings because her name happened to be a long, unfamiliar one." Teacher says that she believes that no child would have teased Vanda purposely or deliberately. "I prefer to think," so the teacher, she says that she chooses to think, she prefers to think that what was said in thoughtlessness. That whatever had happened, that was not happened thoughtfully, it was not planned. That had happened in thoughtlessness. "I know that all of you feel the way I do, that this is a very unfortunate thing to have happened." She says, whatever has happened, something unfortunate had happened and sad also, both. "And I want you all to think about it." The teacher says that you please think about it. Whatever has happened, I know has not happened deliberately or purposely, but has happened, so please think about it. When the school was dismissed, when the school was over in the afternoon, Peggy said with pretended means artificial, casualness. She was showing as if she was not bothered. She said, "Hey Maddie, let's go and see if that kid refers to Vanda here, has left the town or not." Maddie glowed. Maddie was feeling happy that Peggy had the same idea. She also wanted to meet Vanda once. Peggy said gruffly. Gruffly means in an unfriendly tone. She said, "Well, at least she never called Vanda a foreigner or made fun of her name." Actually, it was not Peggy. It was other children who were making fun of her name or calling her a foreigner. As she was from Poland, then Peggy said that Peggy never felt that Vanda had the sense to understand that they were making fun of Vanda, and Vanda was so dumb, so foolish. And G was an expression of surprised. Peggy was surprised that Vanda's drawing was so good. There was not a sign of life about the house. That means no one was there. Peggy knocked firmly on the door, but there was no answer. The Petranskis had gone. Now, how Maddie and Peggy would make amends. Amends means changes. How they would feel sorry. Then Maddie and Peggy turned slowly and made their way back home. That day, Maddie could not sleep. She kept thinking about Vanda and her faded blue dress and the little house she had lived in. Also, she kept thinking of the designs, the dresses she had drawn. After a long time, Maddie reached an important conclusion that she would never support such kind of games, teasing someone or making fun of someone. On Saturday, Maddie spent the afternoon with Peggy. They were writing a letter to Vanda Petransky. It was just a friendly letter telling about the contest and telling Vanda that she had won. They told her how pretty her drawings were and they asked her if she liked where she was living and if she liked her new teacher. They had meant to say they were sorry, but it ended up with their just writing a friendly letter. Weeks passed by. Peggy had begun to forget, but Maddie put herself to sleep at night, making speeches about Vanda, defending her, protecting her from great crowds of girls who were teasing her with these questions: how many dresses have you got, and all. Now it was Christmas time, and there was snow on the ground. Christmas bells and a small tree decorated the classroom. On the last day of school, before the holidays, the teacher showed the class a letter she had received that morning. And she says, "You remember Vanda Petransky, the gifted little artist who won the drawing contest? Well, she has written me, and I am glad to know where she lives, because now I can send her a medal. I want to read her letter to you." The class sat up with a sudden interest and listened intently, listened attentively. The letter reads like this: "Dear Miss Mason," Miss Mason is a teacher, "how are you and room 13?" That means all the students of room 13. "Please tell the girls they can keep those 100 dresses, because in my new house I have 100 new ones all lined up in my closet. I would like that girl Peggy to have the drawing of the green dress with the red trimming, and her friend Maddie to have the blue one. For Christmas, I miss that school, so she is missing this old school, and my new teacher does not equalize with you." And she says that her new teacher is not like old one. She is missing Miss Mason. Merry Christmas to you and everybody. So now we end up this chapter here.